Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Footy Fans podcast. It is me and Izzy, and today we're here with a special guest, Jack, and we're going to be doing sort of match report of the Arsenal versus Wolves game. Jack is an Arsenal fan, so that's why he's here with us today. If you guys want to sort of get involved with videos like this with your team, make sure you comment or DM the Footy Fans Instagram, and we can get you involved. First of all, who do you think the lineups are going to be, Izzy? And we'll start with you.
All right, so obviously Arsenal are starting to get better now that they're using a bit more youth players. So I've sort of matched that in the lineup using players like Smith Rowe and Saka. So in goal, I've gone for Leno, a back four of Tierney, Gabriel, Rob Holding, Bellerin, two CDMs being Xhaka and Partey, Cam, Smith Rowe, two wingers being Pepe and Saka, and then up top Lacazette. In goal, obviously Rui Patricio, back four of Ait Nouri, Bolly, Connor Cody and Semedo. Two CDMs as Neves and Dendonka. In Cam, Podence. Two wingers being Adama and Pedro Neto. And then up top, the new signing, Willian Jose.
Yeah, fair enough. Jack, go through yours.
Okay, so I'll go with the Arsenal one first. In goal for Leno, then you got Tierney, Gabriel, who's been really good apart from that own goal he scored against Southampton. Holding, Cedric, he's been good recently. Partey, Xhaka, Smith Rowe, Pepe, Saka, and Lacazette. I'll do the Wolves as well. But I also picked Smith Rowe because I think Odegaard will need time to settle down because he's come from the Liga, so I think he needs some time to settle down on that. But yeah. I've gone with a 5-back for Wolves. So I've gone Rui Patricio in goal, Ait Nouri, Cody Dendonka, Saiss, and Semedo. I think Saiss, is he still there? I think
he is.
Yeah.
Martinho, Neves, Traore, Neto, and Fabio Silva.
Yeah, I think all of our lineups are pretty much the same. For Arsenal, I've gone with Leno in goal. Like you said, Cedric at left back, David Luiz and Holding in centre backs, Hector Bellerin at right back. I think it's the same back four as the previous game. Two CDMs gone with Partey and Eleni instead. Three cams, I've gone with Saka. I've gone with Willian as more of a sort of winger on the left side. I know you said keep Odegaard sort of out of it for a little bit to sort of keep getting settled in, but I've kind of gone with him sort of as a sort of staple mark. I think if he starts now against a team like Wolves, who are solid, I think it'll get him sort of put him into the side, let him get comfortable with how the team plays, and Wolves aren't sort of a top 6 team, but then again they are quite a solid team, so it's an ideal sort of team to start a new signing and see how he can play. And I've gone with Lacazette up front. For Wolves, I've gone with Rui Patricio in goal, same as you, Jack. I've gone with back 5. I've gone with Johnny left wing back, Willy Bolly, Connor Cody, and Roman Says in centre backs, and Semedo right wing back. I've gone with Moutinho and Neves in the 2 centre mids, Podence and Cam, and then I've got this new signing Willian Jose and Pedro Neto as 2 strikers. Willian Jose is, like I said, new signing, and I think he could be quite solid for Wolves. Brings in a bit of experience, and I think he might be able to score in this game if he can sort of get the chances.
Yeah, he'll be interesting to see, won't he? Because obviously he's been in La Liga for a very long time, so it'll be good to see how he sort of copes with the Prem. I mean, Liam, we've talked about it time and time again, how some players just can't handle the Premier League, but it will be good to see how he sort of takes care of business at Wolves.
Yes, well, obviously Willian Jose has had a decent career and he's been everywhere pretty much. And I don't think he's really ever played in the Premier League or played against any top tier Premier League sides. So like you said, it will be quite cool to see how he can sort of fit himself into the side. Jack, how do you think Arsenal will be able to sort of cope against a team like Wolves? Because obviously you watch Arsenal, you support Arsenal. So what do you think the score will be? How do you think they'll play?
I think it's better to go because Wolves are quite, hit on the counter attack. They've got pacey players like Adama Traore, and of course the last time that we played Wolves, I'm pretty sure we lost, didn't we? 3-1, I think it was.
Yeah, 3-1 or 2-1.
And yeah, that was when we were on that shocking run. But yeah, like you said, I think Willian Jose is going to be like a real threat if he starts. I only didn't start him because being an Arsenal fan, you look at Pepe and think, why did we bring him in for 72 million? He's done literally nothing. So I was like, shall I play Willian Jose? But Fabio Silva played really well against us. So I put him in the team because, of course, Jimenez got that knock. But yeah, I think if Arsenal need to, their defence needs to be strong because Wolves have really good attacking players. But yeah, I think it'll be 2-1. I think we'll get a late goal to win it, but it'll be tight. That's what I think.
Yeah, who do you think will be sort of key players for Arsenal and key players for Wolves?
I think key players for Arsenal. I think Smith Rowe is having a real impact at the moment. But I think Odegaard will challenge. I think because he's been brought in to do that. I reckon he might start against Wolves. I think there's a 50-50 chance he'll start. So yeah, I think totally. I just think another key player, Saka. I think he's going to be like vital. He's done so well so far that he's got such good chemistry with Smith Rowe. It's honestly amazing, like the way they play and pass. It's like one-touch football, like it's crazy. And yeah, we've come out of a bad run. Got like 5 wins in the last 6 games, which is really good for us, moving up the table. So yeah, hopefully we can get the win. I reckon it's going to be a really tight game.
Yeah, I agree with you. Izzy, who do you think will be the sort of key players and the people to watch in the 2 starting 11s?
So I agree with you, Jack. I think Pedro Neto massively will be. He's cemented himself into that Wolves attack very well. And I think if it wasn't for Raul Jimenez's injury, he'd be getting even more goals and assists. I think it's sort of, everyone can recognise how well he's doing. But I think we'd be able to see how much more he can give once there's like a very consistent striker up top. And hopefully that's what Willian Jose can bring in. And then for Arsenal, I've gone for Bukayo Saka. Now, they are both very similar players, of course, being wingers. Saka's just, like Jack said, brought so much to that Arsenal squad. I think youth is definitely the way to go in this stage of football for all teams. We saw it with Chelsea last season, did very well with the youth squad, and I think at Arsenal, that's the way they need to go forward if they want to sort of get back to their old ways. And Saka's just unbelievable. We've seen it every single week. He just brings something exciting and fresh to that Arsenal squad. Saka's obviously a bit more of an attacking threat, as you can see from the stats, but in terms of a creator, they are both very good as well.
Yeah, to be fair, I think Podence and Saka as well are very underrated in the Arsenal team. Saka maybe not as much because he's obviously recently come into the squad, really sort of proven himself. But Podence especially, I don't think people realise how much flair and how much pace he brings into the Wolves side. I definitely think he will be like one of the players that you need to be watching out for. I think at the moment, apart from Hector Bellerin and Leno, I think the Arsenal defence can be a little bit shaky at points. So I think depending on what defence comes out of the tunnel for Arsenal, the 2 strikers for Wolves might be having a field day, but they also might be packed in a little bit because obviously you don't really ever know with Arsenal. Like you said, Jack, past 5-6 games they've actually been doing really well, and I don't think they've actually dropped any points as such. I mean, they got 1 draw, but they haven't actually lost any games. So I think it will be a tough game for Wolves, but then again, I think Wolves are very good on the counter-attack. They've got a lot of pacey players in Traore, in Semedo, Podence. I think Pedro Neto's got a bit of pace to him as well. So the counter-attack you do have to watch out for. But then again, Arsenal are very good at sort of holding it, playing it about a little bit. And like we've all said, Saka, sort of Willian, Odegaard. Them 3, I think, will be able to work well today in sort of playing it about and creating the chances. Izzy, what do you think sort of the score will be and how the game will go?
It's a difficult one because we've said they've both had sort of rough patches this season. They've both had sort of parts where they're improving. So I do think it's going to be tighter than some would expect. I'm going to go for 2-1 Arsenal as well, just because I think if Raul Jimenez was starting and was fit, I think it would probably be the other way round, but it's just really difficult to get goals when you haven't got such a great consistent striker. And we can't say yet that they've got that in Willian Jose because he's made 1 appearance off the bench. So I think Arsenal will take this one, but it will be quite a tight game.
Yeah, fair enough. Jack, how do you think the game will be, and what's your score prediction for the game?
Oh, I think 2-1. To be honest, I totally agree with what Izzy said. Like, it's going to be very tight because like it's the same. We have the same sort of players. Like, we get a good striker. They've got good wingers. We have the same sort of play. They like playing it around Wolves out of the back. And like they showed last game that they played us. Like, they really dominated. And we were just left, didn't know what to do, and they just kept scoring. And I was sitting there thinking, what are we doing? But luckily we've improved, so hopefully that'll be wrong. But I think 2-1 Arsenal because of the run that we've been in at the moment. So yeah, I think we'll get the win.
Yeah, fair enough. I've gone with 2-1, but the other way around for Wolves win. Yeah, I think as much as Arsenal have been on a good run recently, and obviously they've got their team starting to pick up a bit of form, I think Wolves are due a win. They haven't won a game in their past 5 games. I think you can look at that in two different ways. You can look at that as a sort of Wolves have been off form. They shouldn't really be able to win against non-form Arsenal. Then again, you can look at it as in Wolves are really hungry for a win, really ready, really want to sort of beat a team such as Arsenal, who are sort of becoming a threat once again in the Premier League. Obviously, didn't have the best of starts, but looking at their recent form, Arsenal should be able to win the game. But when you look at Wolves as a team, they like to sort of cut. They like to have their comebacks as Arsenal have this season.
Yeah, I also think it depends on the results this weekend. You know, Arsenal playing Man United, and whether or not they both get the win, it's definitely going to be confidence that's a big factor in this game on Tuesday. So I think whoever gets the best result can definitely come out fighting on Tuesday.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. To be fair, Arsenal having Manchester United, that'll be a sort of a tough test. Manchester United obviously doing really, really well this season. Yeah, so it all just
Yeah.
depends on how the team morale comes out as like for both teams, and how the chemistry within the team. And if Arsenal want to sort of keep their form and keep performing, and carry on their sort of technically a bit of their unbeaten streak so far. Obviously, there's only been a couple, like 6 games or so, but they haven't lost a game in those 6 games. So I think if Arsenal want to carry on their form and sort of get up the table like they should, they probably should be, as their sort of how good their team is. I think they should be able to beat Wolves. But then again, Wolves win their game against Crystal Palace, then they could sort of perform well and beat Arsenal in their game.
Yeah, I've got a question for Jack. Actually, would you like to see Ødegaard on the wing, because he has played on the right wing a few times in his career, and he doesn't look like he's awful there. Would you mind seeing him there instead of Willian?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't really mind because like Willian, he's a good player, but I think we've got to give him a bit of time because he's like, I know he's like had time, but I think you never know. He might have, he might have a good game one game, but he hasn't. So it's questionable. But I would like to see Ødegaard on the wing if we're playing Smith Rowe at Cam, and if Ødegaard can't get in the team, then it'd be good just to put him on the wing. So then he gets games and we see more of him. I don't want that to happen. Like, we brought Denis Suarez on loan, I think 2018, and it never happened for him. And he went on to be a great player after that, playing for Celta Vigo. But yeah, I just want to see Ødegaard play. That's basically my main thing.
Yeah, he is very talented, and I think once he gets going, he'll just show his class massively.
Definitely.
The thing is with the lineups, however, though, you mentioned you'd rather sort of Ødegaard like stay out, maybe subs bench, bring him on. Would you rather him be on the bench and sort of bring him in like softly, sort of get him used to the Premier League, or would you rather throw him in the deep end? Like, I know the deep end isn't really Wolves, but would you rather sort of throw him in the deep end, get him used to the Premier League, and sort of play him so he can get that experience straight off the bat?
I think it depends. I think it depends also if he plays today, because if he gets today's game against Man United and he does well, yeah, he'll definitely play against Wolves if he plays today. That's my thing. But yeah, I'd like to see him play. Even if like we do throw him in the deep end and he plays well, that's a good thing. But
yeah,
like, you've got to be cautious, because if he doesn't play well, then the fans are going to have a go at him, because that's Arsenal fans. But if he doesn't do well, then people are just going to lash out at him. So I think sometimes it's good to like almost keep him on the bench and be safe sometimes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I've mentioned a couple of times about the Arsenal defence and sometimes how it can't really perform to a standard that can keep out strikers. When you look at sort of how Liverpool have done it, they've always sort of gone with like a youngster and then someone like Fabinho or Jordan Henderson in that defence. And I was just thinking, could you possibly sort of try out maybe Partey in the defence or like someone along those lines who is a solid player who will be able to sort of hold his own in that defence, and especially against sort of some of the fast players. Partey has got a bit of pace to him; he's massive. So, do you think that might be a decent idea to sort of try out, sort of get the Arsenal defence up and going again?
Well, yeah, to be honest, we've seen Xhaka before play at defence, so surely if he can play in defence, Partey can, because Partey's a much better player. So, yeah, I think you're 100% right. We need to try everything out and just see how it works, because, you know, I think we're 8th or 9th, and Aston Villa have 3 games in hand on us. So, you know, we are going to stay in the same position, if you know what I mean. We're not going to go up. We're going to more likely go down, because Villa need to win their games and they're going to push on, like against Tottenham. No, Liverpool have lost a lot of games and they came out against Tottenham and put on a great performance. So I think it could be the same case for Villa, which means we might move down a little bit because they have 3 games in hand.
How far do you see you going this season? What do you think? Where do you think you're going to finish?
Well, I'm not going to be optimistic. I'm just going to say what I think. So I think we're not going to get anywhere near top 5. I reckon we'll finish 7th, only because you got West Ham in 5th at the moment, and they're doing bits. They're doing so well. They've just signed Jesse Lingard on loan, and because he's not getting played at United, I think he's going to be really good for West Ham. You got Tottenham, who are doing really well. They're in 6th. Everton doing well. We've got James Rodriguez. You've got Villa, Southampton. Leeds are falling off a bit, but I think it's going to be really difficult for us to get high up the table.
Yeah, what's the issue been this season, do you think? What happened with the poor start?
I really don't know. It might have been a lack in confidence. You'd think it wouldn't be, because we beat Man United 1-0 and that should have sprung confidence, but after that it was just not good at all. There's a lot of reasons why we went wrong, but at least we're on a good run now and hopefully we can carry that on against Wolves.
The end sort of statement is it is going to be very tight.
Well, I do think Wolves are struggling. I know we've said it so many times, but they've brought in Nelson Semedo, who's a world-class fullback from Barcelona. And loads of clubs were interested in PSG, and he went to Wolves, and it's not like for the club anyway. They're 13th in the table, and last season they were much higher than this. It's really not happening for them, which might give us an advantage.
I think they are always a team that sort of belongs in the Premier League and belongs in the top half of the Premier League at least. So now that they're picking up the form, I think it's a good sort of time to sort of like claim their part and keep on going with this form. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and follow Jack's Arsenal page on Instagram. To follow our Instagram page as well, and mine and Izzy's editing pages. If you haven't watched any of the other videos, make sure to go and watch them, because obviously, and we're doing live streams quite frequently now with some live reactions. So yeah, just make sure you keep an update. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.